10 days had passed since we started culling monsters in the clan's designated territory as part of a subjugation request from the Adventurers Guild. Sir Lane, it feels like the number of monsters has gone down quite a bit. Yeah, you're right. It's obvious even with detection magic. We can probably take a break from monster hunting in our sector for a while. Of course, monsters would eventually wander in from other clans' territories, but since they were culling them too, the numbers wouldn't increase right away. Not enough to warrant a full clan deployment anyway. We could just come back and hunt again once they repopulated a bit. I really wish they'd just cancel this request already. I've been checking with the guild every day, and all they ever say is, "We're still confirming." All right. I'm going to give them a piece of my mind today. I shall accompany you, Sir Lane. It seemed Walter was ready to join me in complaining to the guild. He really was a good guy. Of course, it wasn't a mandatory request, so we were free to ignore it and hunt other monsters, but it just didn't sit right with me, like I was shirking my duty. If there was no real danger of a stampede, I just wanted them to be clear about it. After finishing today's hunt, we returned to Gents and got in line for the gate inspection. The queue was filled with other adventurers, none of whom looked particularly well off. They were probably members of other major clans who had been stuck doing the same request as us. In our clan's case, we used drones to scout the monsters' locations beforehand, allowing us to hunt with a certain degree of precision. I figured we were doing a lot better than those who were just hunting blindly. Once we passed through the gate, I collected all the magic stones and subjugation parts from every squad, and Walter and I headed for the Adventurers Guild. As expected, the guild was packed and a long line had formed at the appraisal counter. We waited for about 15 minutes before it was finally our turn. Today's haul for the entire clan was 26 greyhounds, 5 orcs, and 25 goblins, which exchanged for 29,600 Jinni. At this rate, we were operating at a major loss. All right, let's go, Walter. Yes, sir. Let's give them what for. We marched over to the guild's reception desk to lodge our complaint. I'm Elaine from Shining Star. Oh, about the request, right? It was just officially lifted a moment ago. The Adventurers Guild thanks all the clans for their cooperation. Your hard work is much appreciated. Oh, is that so? I had been all fired up and ready to complain, but the wind was completely taken out of my sails. Walter and I walked back towards our home base in silence. Isn't that Mr. Elaine? A man who looked like a merchant called out to me. The virtual name tag displayed above his head read, Gerd. I didn't recognize his face, but the fact that Nanom knew his name meant he was probably one of the many merchants I'd been introduced to at the Commerce Guild a while back. You're Mr. Gerd, if I remember correctly? Oh, to think you'd remember my name. Yes, that's me, Gerd. It's been a while. What a pleasure to see you again. Say, if you have a moment, how about a drink? I know a place that serves chilled ale. Your companion is welcome, of course. It'll be my treat naturally. Chilled ale. That was exactly what I was craving right now. I glanced at Walter, who had a "it's up to you" look on his face. Well, if he was paying, I saw no reason to refuse. Well then, since you're offering, we'd be happy to accept. That's what I like to hear. The place is just around the corner. The establishment he led us to was a neat little tavern, with only a few other merchant-like men sitting around. It was probably a regular spot for them. Gerd ordered ale and snacks for the 3 of us, and the drinks were brought over right away. I've been wanting to have a proper chat with you for a while, Mr. Elaine. Oh, I know. I won't take up too much of your time. Not at all. It's nice to talk with a merchant every now and then. Mr. Elaine, are you aware that Shining Star is becoming quite famous lately? Oh, is that so? I guess a few clan members did mention being approached by people, probably because of this insignia. I showed Mr. Gerd the clan insignia on my left arm, I had received reports that several members had been thanked for our work subjugating bandits. No, your fame is here in Gantz, of course, but I'm talking about rumors that have reached all the way to the royal capital. Ho, the royal capital, you say? Well, it's mostly merchants who spread these rumors, so I suppose it's to be expected. By the way, is it true that you've captured more than 10 different bandit groups? That's right. It was 11 groups. If I recall, the total number of bandits was 215. 215! Wow, that's incredible. Thank you so much. Really.
It was a request from the Commerce Guild, after all. Everyone's saying the guild does something good once in a while. I hear Guild Master Silas is in a very good mood. I see. So the Commerce Guild's reputation had gone up. We made a good profit too, so it was a win-win. After that, we listened to various rumors while enjoying 2 more ales on him before parting ways with Mr. Gerd. This is great, sir. Yeah, that was some delicious ale. No, not that. I'm talking about the rumors in the royal capital. Oh, that. Right, I was hoping that would happen, but I didn't think it would become a reality so soon. Still, we don't know the extent of the rumors, so it's hard to say for sure. When you think about it, it was quite an accomplishment. I'm sure the rumors are spreading like wildfire. As Walter and I talked, we arrived back at our home base. Time to take a bath. I'd be out just in time for dinner. As dinner was winding down, I spoke to Captain Dursum. Captain Dursum, I'd like to have a quick meeting. Could you gather the leaders in the office? Understood, Sir Elaine. While I appreciate you calling me Captain, I humbly believe it's not appropriate as this clan already has captains. Ah, my mistake. I have something to discuss regarding that as well. Let's talk about it in the meeting. Very well. I had the party members and leaders gather and the meeting began. First, a report. The culling request from the Adventurers Guild has been lifted. It seems there was no real threat of a stampede after all, though I wish they had lifted it 4 or 5 days sooner. The monster population was decreasing, so the timing is good. Someone commented. Well, true. One more report. It seems rumors of Shining Star's bandit subjugation have reached the royal capital. That said, I'm not sure exactly what's being said, so I can't say much more. Whoa. They must be good rumors, right? Of course they are. I heard it from a merchant, and he said merchants are the ones spreading the word. Now, for the main topic. We have intel that a new group of bandits has appeared. They haven't attacked anyone yet, but a group of 15 camping in the same spot for 2 nights without hunting monsters is suspicious enough for me. This information, of course, came from a drone. I had watched the surveillance footage of the group. From their appearance, they didn't look like adventurers and they'd been lying in wait along the highway during the day. I was certain they were bandits. I wanted to capture them, though it might mean having to stage another attack. Let us A-Team handle it, Selena said. All right, I'll leave it to you. It's a day's journey from here. Get ready and depart tomorrow. As for B-Team, let's go hunt some orcs. We'll raid their settlement. There might even be an orc general. Ooh. Bandits without a base are likely poor and won't yield much profit. An orc hunt will probably be more lucrative. Lastly, about Captain Dursum. If you'll accept, I'd like to appoint you as my second in command. Me? Sir Elaine's second in command? Only if you're willing. Can I count on you? Of course I accept. I will do everything in my power to be of service. Good. I'm glad. As you all know, Dursum has the skills to be recognized as a captain in any organization. I'm sure you already understand this, but I want you all to consider the opinions of second-in-command Dursum as something to be heeded. Everyone in the room nodded. I felt a little bad for the others, but I was determined to have Selena as my eventual successor. In terms of experience, Dursum was probably more suited for the role of second-in-command. I was just glad he was content with the position. All right then. As usual, both A-Team and B-Team will depart when the 7 o'clock bell rings. Be prepared. After the meeting, I returned to my room and a communication from Iris came through. She was probably waiting for me to get back. Captain, this is the regular report on the dragon. The other day, I had ordered Iris to find the dragon that appeared in the Sicilio Kingdom, a task she completed in about 2 hours. I'd reviewed a digest version of the drone footage of its behavior. There were no dangerous signs, it just seemed to be wandering aimlessly. It would approach human towns but never cause any harm, simply observing from above before seemingly getting bored and flying away. It fed on monsters and big boars, and so far hadn't attacked any people. It would have been easier to attack humans, but it didn't. Did it have some kind of code? It seemed like a rather intelligent creature. The dragon's current position appeared on the virtual window map. Isn't it getting closer to Gaunt's? Indeed. However, the dragon's movements lack any consistency. I believe it is most likely a coincidence. I see. Continue surveillance. Acknowledged. It was true. The dragon's movements were erratic. It might stay in one place for 2 or 3 days, then suddenly move 150 kilometers the next. It seemed to act on its whim. There was no point in worrying about it.
Anyway, the dragon was a concern, but I had an early start tomorrow. I should get some sleep. The moment the 7 o'clock bell rang in the morning, both A-Team and B-Team departed from the home base. A-Team, with their horses and carriage, went on ahead. B-Team, of course, was on foot. Our destination, the Orc settlement, was 20 kilometers away. We should be able to make it back in a day. We walked through the sea of trees, and by noon, we were near the Orc settlement. We were attacked twice by a total of 10 greyhounds along the way, but we dispatched them without issue. The number of monsters was definitely low. The guild's culling operation had been a success. I gathered everyone to explain the plan. The Orc settlement is 500 meters ahead. There are 55 of them in total. The settlement is shaped like this. I drew the shape of the settlement on the ground and placed leaves to mark the approximate positions of the orcs. At first, we'll try to take them out with magic without being noticed. It's not a huge deal if they spot us, but the quieter we are, the easier the rest of the fight will be. Even if it turns into a chaotic melee, don't panic, stick to your parties. Everyone nodded, their faces tense. Come to think of it, this was B-Team's first time fighting an enemy force of equal or greater numbers. Orcs are nothing to worry about. I could probably take them all on by myself. Let's relax. My joke brought a few smiles to their faces. All right, let's move out. We formed a single file line and slowly approached the settlement, trying not to make a sound. We didn't encounter any orcs on the way. After about 40 minutes, we finally reached the edge of the settlement without being detected. The settlement was a circular clearing about 115 meters in diameter, with simple sun shelters made of long leaves propped up here and there. Most of the orcs were either sitting or sleeping under them. I used hand signals to assign targets to each party. Hearing it was an orc hunt, many had brought bows today. We would start by attacking from outside the settlement with magic and arrows. Once everyone was ready, I swung my arm down, signaling a simultaneous attack. An assault by 50 people made a considerable amount of noise, and we were quickly noticed, but the orcs still seemed confused about what was happening. That initial volley took down at least 20 orcs, a great start. Engage at will, I shouted, charging into the settlement. I hit an approaching orc in the forehead with a light arrow, taking it down, then moved on to the next. Ooh, bows were quite effective against the slow-moving orcs. They crumpled one after another, riddled with arrows. Just then, a battle cry echoed from the back of the settlement. That had to be the orc general, so there was one here after all. The orc general is mine. I couldn't have its precious face getting scarred. I'll take it down by attacking its body, just like last time. This orc general was smaller than the previous one, but still nearly 3 meters tall. It strode forward confidently, carrying a large club-like weapon. I locked onto the area around its heart and fired off a succession of light arrows. As the fourth one hit its body, the orc general slowly collapsed. Whoa, Sir Elaine took down the orc general. The tide of the battle had already turned. All that was left was the cleanup. I saw 3 orcs trying to flee after seeing their general fall and took them out with light arrows. Okay, that's all of them.
All right, good work, everyone. Mission complete. Yeah, we did it. Let's take a quick break, then collect the magic stones and subjugation parts. That was a piece of cake, Sir Elaine. You're right. With everyone's skill level, a group this size is no match for us. I flipped the orc general over and used the sword enhanced with final blade to cut off its head. I made sure to drain the blood properly. This one had a hideously ugly face too. A face this ugly was sure to sell for a high price. After a short break, we all worked together to collect the magic stones and subjugation parts from all the orcs. It was already 2 p.m. We had to hurry back before it got dark. All right, back to Gaunt's. Yeah, we did it. Just then, a communication came in from Iris. Captain, the dragon appears to be heading for the Sea of Trees. What? I hurriedly displayed the map in my virtual window to check the dragon's position and speed. I see. It was certainly heading this way, but not directly towards us. It's not targeting us, is it? I do not believe so, but it would be wise to remain cautious. Sir Elaine. Walter must have gotten suspicious because I'd stopped moving. Bad news. A dragon is heading this way. A dragon? That's right. Let's head back and stay on high alert. Hearing the word dragon, everyone began to nervously scan the sky as we left the orc settlement behind. About 30 minutes later, another communication came in from Iris. The situation is not good. Please watch this.
We're in the middle of marching, though. I raised my hand, halting the entire squad. Everyone stopped immediately, warily watching the sky. I checked the footage in my virtual window. It looked like a recording of the dragon hunting, not live, obviously. The dragon was circling high above, searching for prey. It locked onto a target and dove at incredible speed, crashing through the trees to take down a large big boar that must have weighed 500 kilograms. That's bad luck. The view zoomed in on a group of about 10 adventurers. They were terrified of the dragon, but seemed to be trying to figure out what to do while it was preoccupied with its meal. What idiots! They should have just snuck away while they had the chance. What did they think they could do to it? The adventurers circled around to the dragon's rear. 2 of them, apparently mages, began to concentrate. Fools! Even I knew that simple, single-shot spells wouldn't work. The outcome was painfully obvious. Once they were ready, 3 of their party members fired arrows at the back of the dragon's head. The arrows bounced off harmlessly, and the dragon, annoyed at having its meal interrupted, turned around with a look of displeasure. At that moment, the 2 mages unleashed their spells. The timing was perfect. It looked like they both cast Flame Arrow, and 6 fiery projectiles flew towards the dragon's face and struck home. Whoa! One of the 6 had pierced the dragon's eye. The dragon let out a pained shriek. It thrashed and rolled on the ground for about 20 seconds. As the pain subsided, it stood up, one eye squeezed shut, glared at the adventurers, and let out a long, deafening roar. I knew it would come to this. The adventurers panicked at the roar and tried to flee. If they had tried to blind its other eye, they might have had a chance of survival. The dragon took a deep breath and then spewed a torrent of fire from its mouth like a flamethrower, engulfing the adventurers. Even after killing the adventurers, the dragon's rage wasn't sated. It continued to roar at the sky. Eventually, it seemed to tire of screaming. It took flight and began to circle, as if searching for something. The view zoomed in on the dragon's upper body. It was staring intently at the ground, desperately searching. It was probably looking for another target to take its anger out on. I checked the map. It was gradually getting closer to us. This was indeed a bad situation. If the dragon found us, it would attack, 9 times out of 10. However, this was also an opportunity I had been waiting for. I'd heard that in Starwake, an adventurer who defeated a few wyverns was granted a noble title. So what if it was a dragon? That very opportunity was coming right to me. It was a risk worth taking, even if it was a long shot. Walter, the dragon is definitely getting closer. I'm going to split off and try to deal with it myself. I want you to lead B Team back to Gaunt's. What are you saying, sir? If that's the case, then we'll accompany you. If we combine our strength, a dragon is nothing to fear.
No, when it comes to a dragon, you all are not strong enough yet. To be blunt, you'd be a hindrance. I need you to sit this one out. But sir, there must be something we can do. Walter, that's an order. As a former soldier, you understand what an order is, don't you? Yes, sir. I don't think it will come to this, but in the unlikely event that I don't make it back, follow Captain Selena's orders. Captain Selena is the clan's second in command. Understood. Oh, right. Give me the orc magic stones. Half should be enough. I took the sack of orc magic stones from him. This would be plenty. The dragon is approaching from the east. Run west for an hour, then head due north, and you'll get back to Gaunt's. Walter, I'm counting on you to lead everyone. I understand. Sir Elaine, please don't do anything reckless. I know. Don't worry. You can leave it to me. Nanum, activate long-distance running mode. Acknowledged. I started running east. Of course, I could probably kill the dragon easily using a drone, but I didn't want to. If the dragon were like a greyhound or an orc, a monster that attacked humans on sight, then I might have. But that dragon was different. It didn't kill people senselessly. What just happened could even be called self-defense. If a creature like that was about to lose control and attack humans, I wanted to be the one to stop it. No, was that really it? Was I such a noble person? Of course not. Was it because I didn't want to lie and claim a drone's kill as my own? That was certainly part of it. I didn't want to tell a lie like that. But was that all? That dragon was, without a doubt, the strongest living creature in this world, physically. I had never used my magic at full power before. I'd never had the chance, nor the need, but I knew that someday I wanted to try. I see. I just want to test my own strength against a dragon. All right, let's do this.